Hey guys, this is Rachel Payton with Group Coaching in MAPS, and we are waiting for Richard to jump on. And as soon as he does, we will get you guys started. So just hang tight.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Or is there a maps person on?
Yes, this is Rachel.
Hey, Rachel, it's not letting me. I'm clicking on screen sharing, and it's like not letting me screen share it. Is there a way you can start the webinar or something? Or maybe I'm not the presenter?
Let me change you as presenter. Are
Sorry.
you
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
okay? Is that you now? Do you have it?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
that's okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, guys. So I should be on. Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Marathon Lead Generation and Conversion with MAPS coach Robert Schulman. Richard Schulman. Sorry, guys. Please note this webinar is being recorded and you will automatically receive the webinar recording. If you have any questions for your coach, please type them into the questions box located in the webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have any questions about today's call or coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's all for me. Richard, time to take it away.
Thanks. All right. Good morning, everyone. I promise you, I'm better at lead generation than I am at using GoToWebinar. Okay, welcome. This is Marathon Lead Generation and Conversion. We're going to be talking a little about the class today. It's a really exciting class. It's very interesting to me personally, and that's why I've been teaching it for about 5 years now. Also, if you're listening live, I'll let you know that at about 1 o'clock Central, I'll be on KW Connect on their big show, and that's a webinar that you can watch too. It's actually a video webinar, and talking about the same topic. So what we're going to talk about today is just generating leads and converting leads, and we're going to talk about how that impacts our business. So let's jump in. Like she said, if there are questions, there's a question box in the bottom right corner. Here's a little bit about me. I've been at KW 12 years. I love training. I originally was not a huge fan. I didn't think I needed training, and that's back when I was doing $4 million, $6, $7, $8, $9 million a year in sales. 12 years ago, that was pretty good, right? Now everyone's doing that, and the bar has been raised, but so I've gotten there through training. I've been to 8 straight family reunions, a bunch of mega camps. I've taken almost every class that KW offers, and a lot of them multiple times. Our next sale or 2 more sales will put us over $800 million in combined lifetime sales. There's a lot of other things on there. Rental properties, this group call, being an OP candidate. The point of showing you all these things, I'll go back really quickly. Profit share, building a team, doing a sales business. These things all require one thing, right? They all require lead generation and conversion, right? Everything that we do in our lives and our business requires us to generate and convert leads. And I stay on that point for a second because I want you to be really clear about the simplicity. What this class will show you how to do is really focus on doing the one thing, right? The one thing that you need to do to succeed. It's to generate and convert leads, right? You need to find people and set business appointments with them. That's the entire business. If you can find people out in the world and meet with them in a business setting, it is not that hard to sell real estate. The challenge is finding people and meeting them. And that sounds overly simple, and you guys are all saying, well, of course I know that. I don't need a webinar to tell me how to do that. And I'm going to tell you, I promise you that you do. Because we're going to spend a lot of time diving deep and mastering this topic with such extreme clarity and extreme precision that we're going to change our businesses, right? All you have to do is find people and meet with them. So generating a lead means you find someone and put them in your database. Converting them means you set a business appointment with them, right? We'll talk about that some more. All of that stops without lead generation and conversion. So let me just give you a quick idea. In running a sales team, I have my own sales business. I need to generate and convert leads for my own sales business. I need to generate and convert leads for my staff. I need to always be hiring and finding new people to join the team. So if you're running a team, I want you to think of lead generation as more than just your next buyer or seller prospect. It's the people in your lives, right? We succeed through others. We need to find those people in our lives to succeed. And there's me with Gary. We were talking about this mega camp last year. So very interesting video. If you guys have a chance, it's on KW Connect. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, but you get to see me live instead of just hear me over the phone, which is pretty exciting, I think. Okay, here's the challenge. I'll give you a second to read that. The first thing I do when I have new salespeople start working with me is I work on what we call the perfect hour of calling. Now, again, this is real simple stuff. We're not looking for you to do a pretty good job with real simple stuff. I'm looking for you to do an awesome, perfect job with real simple stuff. So I have a new salesperson on my team, and she did 1 hour of calling every day last week, and we said we're going to master 1 hour of calling before we do anything else. And by hand dialing, her lowest hour was 25, her highest hour was 35 dials, right? That's great. Now, once we get her on the auto dialer, those numbers will jump off a bunch. Her lowest hour was 7 contacts. Her highest hour was 11 contacts. If you are not hitting those numbers every single hour that you are dialing the phone, you are cheating yourself. You don't know if you're doing that or not unless you're tracking your numbers, so you're going to have to start tracking your numbers. When you track your numbers, it allows you to make correction for what you're doing or to realize what you're doing well and allow you to double down on that, right? Now that I know that Julie can make calls very well for 1 hour, now we're going to go to 2 hours, right? Then we'll go to 3 hours. Then we'll worry about how many appointments we're setting, right? First step is to dial a minimum of 25 per hour. Now, if you're using an auto dialer, it's a lot easier. You should be doing 60 to 80 on a single and 150 plus on a triple, right? Let that sink in. If you're hand dialing, you are cheating yourself if you are making fewer than 25 dials per hour, right? It can be done. It's easy to do. And if we're not doing it, we're cheating ourselves and our businesses, right? Remember that even doing 20 an hour is a 20% difference, right? Do you want a 20% difference in outcome? Now, again, I'm not asking you to work harder or longer hours. I'm just asking you to work smarter. Here's the class information. We'll send out more later. It's an ongoing webinar. We have a ton of material pre-recorded for you to watch on your own speed. And then we do monthly follow-up webinars. We do question and answer. We also have a Facebook group where you can get all that information and contact me directly as well. Let's talk about what we're doing here on the Schulman team. In December 2017, about half of my sales team, my sales manager left or were removed, right? Well, that's all we'll say about that. Well, I thought, well, this is not a good sign, right? You know, it had to be done, of course, but geez, my top 2 or 3 agents are out or gone, and my sales manager's gone, and some new agents are gone. This is a real problem, right? That year we did 124.7 million in sales. Last year we did 138 million in sales. We had over a 10% increase with that amount of turnover, and we did it only by doubling down on the material that I'm already teaching to you guys. We doubled down on marathon lead generation and conversion as an entire team. So I mentioned a couple of slides ago, what is it like if you make 5 fewer calls, 10 fewer calls a day or per hour? It's an enormous differential, right? 10 more calls, going from 15 to 25 calls is going to take you by about up by about 5,000 calls per year, right? Do you think that you can make more money if you could make 5,000 calls more per year? And again, not working any more hours, just working smarter, right? So let's talk about a few ways we can do this. First of all, we need to be really excited. I'm at my stand-up desk right now. I am excited to be here. I'm pacing and bouncing back and forth. When I call, when I'm doing my webinars, when I'm doing my prospecting, I always make sure I have my peak energy, right? I knew this call was at 10:30. I planned my whole day around it, right? I had my coffee, had my snack. I'm ready to go, have my notes in front of me. Everything is focused on this 30-minute call being the best 30-minute call that I can possibly do. And there's actually another one right after this for my investment class. You're welcome to join that one too. But everything was done so I could be absolutely premium ready for this call to give you guys the best that I could. It's the same way when I'm prospecting for talent or prospecting for buyers and sellers, right? I'm really excited to be there. I'm focusing my time, right? It's the main event, not a sideshow. Okay, if we're having trouble doing this, and again, we're covering a lot of stuff here today, guys. I want to give you a really broad overview of the class, and I want you to get some actual information either way, right? One of the reasons we see people not bringing their key energy, one of the reasons we see people not bringing their peak potential to every hour of dialing, right? That's your Super Bowl. That's your peak energy. Why are we not doing that? Well, we don't have goals, right? A lot of us don't have really good goals, or we don't have clarity on goals. When I say good goals, I don't mean that we're judging the quality of the goal. I mean, we don't have real clarity on what the goal is and a real path to succeed, right? I want to be rich is a great goal, that's fine, but you need a real pathway to succeed. How am I going to get there? What does that mean? So with each call, I need to know what each call is worth to me, what each call is in relation to my entire goal. So for me, I've arbitrarily decided that each call is worth $100 to me. Now, I used to go through the whole math problem, and I realized people didn't really care a whole lot about it. I would tell you that even as a newer agent and expecting to make $100,000 in a year of selling real estate, that you should assume and figure that those calls are worth on paper $16 each to you. I would tell you doing this for 15 years, my calls are better, my client base is more mature, and I know that each sale I make now will bring me more sales in the future. So I've decided that every dial I make, not contact, every dial I make is worth $100 to me. So I know later today when I do my prospecting and I make my 50 dials that I've made myself $5,000, right? You guys need to have the same clarity in your head. So you can divide out how many dials you're going to make this year or how many contacts you're going to make into the amount of money you expect to make. But I'm just telling you, it's $100. Think of each dial is worth $100. Make a sign, print it, put it where you can see it, right? Tape it to your screen, tape it above your desk. Look at this. When you're 5 dials short of your goal and you really want to go home, this will remind you, 5 more and we hit our goal for the day. Now, here's another thing that we talk a lot about in the class, and I think that we miss the point on a whole lot. What's the point of a phone call, right? Why are we picking up the phone? Obviously, you guys can see the answer there. Why are we picking up the phone? This is a huge miss in our industry and a huge miss in our general sales training. The only reason that we're picking up the phone to make a call is to set an appointment. I'm not calling to have a conversation. I'm not calling to check and see how you're doing. I'm calling to see if I can meet with you face to face to answer those questions. When you have a meeting over the phone, you will allow yourself to be replaced by a computer or a website. And if you don't believe me, look what Redfin's doing right now. They've just announced they're getting rid of buyer's agents, right? That's because as an industry, we've allowed the sale of real estate to happen primarily on a platform, primarily on a computer, and not primarily on the face-to-face that it needs to be, right? When you allow real estate to take place outside of the face-to-face, it can be replaced very easily, right? Zillow announced they're going to be buying and selling 5,000 homes a month. It's not a lot, right? There was 5.5 million homes sold in the U.S. last year. This is a little bit. It could be 1% of the market, but that's a big 1% because 1% turns into 15% real fast, right? In Phoenix, I think iBuyer is over 10% of the whole market right now. So when we talk about why are we on the phone, we're on the phone because we need to meet someone face-to-face, right? Our clients need us. We provide a valuable service, and they are not going to get that same level of service that they will get from a computer. But they will go there if we push them there. So let's talk about scripting. So how are we going to do that, right? Like I said, this is a wide-ranging overview of what the course is, and I want to give you a good sense of why we're doing it. We're doing it because we want to really impart on you the idea that face-to-face meetings are the core and the future of our business, and we want to show you how to do that, right? So the scripting I use is what I call tell, don't, ask. Now, I see a lot of people on the phone, and I see a lot of scripting training, and it gets overly complicated, right? I'm not here to give you 100 different scripts to memorize. You can find that online anywhere you look, and also, that's not the right way to do it. The right way for you to approach scripting is to understand why you're saying what you're saying and what your goal is. I know that my goal is always a face-to-face meeting, so that's always what I'm working towards. I don't need 100 scripts to memorize, because the only script I need to memorize is we need to meet, right? So here's just a very simple one, and we'll go more in depth on these than you care to in the class. But this is a simple one, right? When you're talking to a buyer, first speak to the lender, get pre-approved, and then I'll meet with you, and then we can tour homes, right? The idea is that we're not asking them to meet with us. We're telling them when we will meet with them. And it's a very subtle change in approach. Some of you may not even really notice there's a difference in what you're saying, but unless you're taking this very proactive, directive tone, your clients will take charge, right? Your clients are looking for reasons not to come and meet with you. They're looking for reasons to do this all over the phone, right? We need to have a face-to-face meeting. We need to see them, but we need to have that meeting after they're pre-approved. Then we need to have a buyer meeting, right? That's the subtext of that we're going to have a buyer-broker meeting, and then we're going to tour homes, right? Not, oh, you want to buy a house? Let's tour some homes and let me know if you're pre-approved later, right? This is the order. I'm the professional. Now, one of the things I'll talk about, and I'll let you know, is that we don't treat ourselves as an industry like professionals, right? A lot of you hopefully just did your taxes. Some of you have hired lawyers before. I'm assuming most of you have been to a doctor before. Your doctor, lawyer, and accountant are not asking you, what do you think we should do next? They're not begging you to come in to meet with them, right? They're taking charge. You need to come in and do this, right? Before I work for you, you need to sign this paper hiring me, right? Your other professional vendors in your life take charge of their clients. They get hired up front, and a lot of them get paid up front too, which we don't get, unfortunately. But by doing that, by being professional, they're treated like professionals. When you treat yourself like less than a professional by meeting with people who aren't approved, by not having buyer meetings, by not being hired by your buyers or sellers first, you're making yourself less of a professional, right? The outcome that you get is your responsibility. Here's a similar one for sellers, right? The reason we don't need to memorize 100 scripts is that the scripts are all very similar when you boil them down. You want to tour homes? Great. Get your pre-approval, then we'll do a buyer meeting, and then we'll look at homes. You want to know what your house is worth? Great. The best thing for me to do is to come to your home and give you a personalized evaluation. Is Tuesday or Wednesday better? Now write these down. These are really good, simple scripts that will change the trajectory of your business. What I want you to see here is a lot of times we're saying, can I come over to meet with you? Do you mind if I come over to meet with you? Would it be okay if I come over to meet with you? Now, this scripting is the best thing for me to do is to come to your home and give you a personalized evaluation. The question I'm asking, because we want to be question-based agents in our sales process, the question we're asking is Tuesday or Wednesday better? It's a vastly different question than asking, do you want to meet with me or not, right? We want to close them with a question about timing, not a question about anything else. Here's the same one, right, for showing properties. We're directing them on what's happening next. We're changing the question to be about timing, not about whether or not the event is going to happen or not, right? So we'll take a look at that house, and I can show you a couple more right afterwards. What time is best for you, right? One of my favorite scripts to teach agents is when people call, when you get that call, they see your sign, they found you online, however it is they got your number, you receive that warm call, or even a cold call, really, if they're just calling on signs in the neighborhood, the immediate thing you need to do is set an appointment. You're in front of my house on Main Street, that's great. When would you like to see it? That's the first question that I want to know, right? You're calling me about real estate, that must mean you want to buy real estate, I'm going to show it to you. They may say, well, before I see it, tell me more about it, or answer these questions, but your immediate question is a close. When do you want to take a look at it, right? It's so important that we have that mindset, because too often I hear calls, I talk to agents, they're scripting, and it's a lot of talking and not any appointment setting, right? You're looking for a house? I show houses professionally. When would you like to see the house that I in particular can show you, right? That's what we need to be saying. All right, now here's a good one. Now, since we're in a shifting market, right? I assume all of you are in a shifting market. We're certainly in a shifting market here in the Los Angeles area. We're going to be talking a lot about shifting scripts, right? Now, again, the scripts are not that different. We just change a little bit of the detail. So the scripts that I've given you, these last several slides of scripts, hopefully you're writing them down. Hopefully you're implementing them. There's not a whole lot different from one to the other if you really look down at them carefully. Now, the new script that we're using, and of course you need to have an answer to this if they ask you, right? So this is market specific. I can't help you there. If I can show you an opportunity in today's market, would you be able to meet tomorrow or Friday? That's a great script for so many scenarios, right? It could be at an open house. It could be on a cold call. It could be on a referral. It could be someone who doesn't want to buy a property. They're waiting for the market to turn, right? It works in so many scenarios, and it's easier to do it this way than to learn 100 scripts, to learn your 25 open house scripts, your door knocking scripts, your other expired scripts, right? It's so important to really understand why you're doing what you're doing, and then also to always, always, always be closing, right? So here's a quick overview of what we're going to be covering in this class. So in the class, all the material is provided for you. We give you in PDF, and we give you all the video, as well as the question and answer calls that are led with the webinar. We also have a Facebook group where we post all the support material so that you can see everything else that we're talking about. When you take this class, you have my commitment to change your business through lead generation. So like I said, the first thing we're going to do is double or triple your outbound call volume. After that, once we solve problem 1, we go to problem 2. Problem 2 is setting appointments, right? We need to work on setting more and more appointments. Gary Keller told us to set 11 appointments per person per week. That's a lot of appointments. You need to be on the phone and sharp to do that. We're going to do a lot of habit building. You can't do 1 and 2 unless you're really habit building focused. I'm a huge fan of The One Thing and the related books and material, and we bring a lot of that into the class because we want you to really understand how important it is to be a habit-based agent. We talk a lot about efficiency, right? I don't want you guys to work more hours than you're working. I don't want to work more hours than I'm already working. So we're going to stop wasting time with poor lead conversion, right? No more, I sat in an open house, but I didn't follow up properly, so I got nothing out of it, right? An open house takes 5 or 6 hours of your day, including at least 4 or 5 hours of your Sunday. That's prime time for you. I also want to work with you guys on stop wasting leads with poor leads, right? We have a lot of leads we're calling that are talking to us that are not buyers. They're not motivated, they're not approved, right? We need to treat ourselves as professionals and work with the best buyers, right? Everything that we use in the class is what's taught on my team. I teach my team this, I teach you guys this. When you join my team, you're required to watch all the marathon videos and the webinars and to master the material, right? So the class is actually ongoing. We started in January, it's actually the wrong date. We started in late April. The class is ongoing, and we're going to be having webinars ongoing throughout the class. We will also be having a Facebook conversation, and you'll have my email, and you can ask me questions directly. If you have questions other than what's there, I'm available to answer those questions, and we make sure that you get a full mastery of the material. When MAP sends you a replay of this, it'll give you the entire calendar of everything that's going on. So that's a quick overview of the class that we're doing and everything that we're running through here. If you have any questions, you can pop in the question box. If not, you can sign up at marathonconversion.com, or MAPS will send you an email with the replay and a link to sign up. So really appreciate you guys being on the call today, and I look forward to having you in the class. Thanks for your time.